There's a quiet shift happening all around us. More and more people are staying single. And it's not because they can't find someone, but because they are actively choosing to. So let's really dive into the unspoken psychology behind that choice.
We've all heard it, right? That little whisper from society that says, hey, if you're single for too long, something must be wrong with you. But the truth? Oh, it's often the complete opposite. The people who stay single frequently have the strongest minds, the clearest standards, and the deepest self-awareness. It's a huge gap between what people think and what's really going on. So, the first big unspoken truth is this: it's not about being unlucky in love. It's about being incredibly selective. Trust me, these individuals can find a partner. What they refuse to do is settle for a connection that just feels empty.
And you can see this selectivity in what they don't do. They don't chase attention just to fill a void. They're not going to perform chemistry or fake a spark just to have some company. They would much rather have their own peace than settle for the noise of a bad fit.
And it really all comes down to this core realization, a profound truth that honestly, many of us learn the hard way. The feeling of being lonely inside a relationship, well, that is a far, far heavier burden than just being on your own.
This leads us right into the next key point: the massive value they place on inner peace. For these people, their peace isn't just a nice to have, it's sacred, and they protect it fiercely.
You know how some people might be afraid of silence or being alone with their own thoughts? Well, emotionally aware people, they've learned to respect it. They know exactly what drains their energy and what restores them. And at a certain point, peace simply becomes non-negotiable. And this is the trade-off you see so often. People literally sacrificing their mental stability just to have that "I'm taken" label. The aware choice? It's choosing to protect your own nervous system over a status that doesn't actually bring you any joy. Now, it's really easy to mistake these high standards for some kind of fantasy checklist from a movie, but that's not it at all. Their standards weren't dreamed up. They were forged in the fire of real and often very difficult life experiences. They've seen toxic love up close. They can spot jealousy trying to pass itself off as passion. They recognize control when it's wearing a care disguise. They know that deep, gut-wrenching feeling of being lonely while lying right next to someone. And they have survived cycles that nearly broke them. And this is the critical shift. They've moved past romanticizing red flags or someone's potential. Instead, they've learned to become sharp observers of things that actually matter, like character, consistency, and genuine connection. And that right there is the ultimate motivation. Patience for them isn't just passive waiting, it's an active, strategic choice to protect themselves from repeating a painful history. It's a form of self-preservation that's born from wisdom. This brings us to a really crucial point. Their single time isn't a waiting room where life is on hold. No, it's an active, intentional period of intense growth and self-investment. For many people on this path, they were kind of pushed onto it by life. Maybe it was a devastating breakup or a betrayal that totally rewired how they trust. These kinds of experiences force you to rediscover who you are. And once you've gone through the process of rebuilding yourself from the ground up, you stop handing out pieces of your heart so casually. And that's when a really powerful shift happens. Being single stops feeling like a pause, like you're just waiting for the next chapter of your life to start. It actually starts feeling like living. It becomes this incredible experience of real independence, freedom, and genuine growth. So while other people might be out there chasing temporary validation, these individuals are building something solid, something that lasts. They are pouring their time and energy into their career, their health, their confidence, and into finding their true purpose. And they hold this powerful belief: the right relationship will never ask you to shrink yourself or abandon your own path. It doesn't interrupt your growth. It fits seamlessly into the incredible life you are already building. So, as we start to wrap this up, let's talk about the final and maybe the most important truth behind all of this: what it really means to have a careful heart. Don't ever make the mistake of thinking their hearts are cold or closed off. In fact, it's often the people who stay single the longest who have the biggest capacity to love. They're just careful. And they're careful because they love so deeply, and they understand the true weight of giving your all to someone. So if any of this is resonating with you, if you're single right now, I really need you to hear this loud and clear. You are not behind. You are not missing out on anything that is meant for you, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You're simply someone who has learned that your peace, your growth, and your self-respect are far more valuable than trying to force something that just isn't real. These things have become your non-negotiables. So, I want to leave you with a quick question to think about, and be honest with yourself. Right now, do you feel like you're single by choice or more by timing?
And let's go a little deeper. Would you rather wait for something truly real, no matter how long it takes, or never wait and risk choosing the wrong person over and over again? Your answer to that reveals a lot about where you are on this journey.